Alright, y'all. Hello, and welcome back to one of my favorite series ever on this channel. We're taking a look at driving in European countries, specifically and mostly from the angle of, well, American tourists trying to navigate the streets of Europe. You're going to want to buckle up for this one. Like, I mean it. Buckle up. This is going to be hilarious. I have found some of the funniest clips I've ever seen in my life. I think this might be the best episode yet. POV, what we thought driving through the hills of Tuscany was going to be like. Okay, beautiful, got the old sports car, just like the movies, versus reality. Holy crap. Not quite what they envisioned, huh? Look at this thing. The poor Fiat here bottomed out. This is such a tourist moment right here. The description actually says, thankful for the Italian man who spoke no English, but he got us out of that ditch. P.S. Make sure you reserve an automatic days in advance. I'm assuming maybe this was a manual, and that made it even more difficult for them because remember, about, I don't know what the percentage is, it seems like 95% of Americans don't know how to drive a manual transmission, unfortunately. A big thanks to this Italian farmer here, right? Got the tractor and was able to probably very easily yank that Fiat out and have them go on their way. Hopefully never to be, high-centered in a ditch again. All right, how is this speed legal? I couldn't believe it. I don't know exactly what country we're in, but it is implied that it is in Europe. I'm still looking for the speed. Oh, there it is, 100. Okay, so that's obviously somewhere in Europe. I don't know where, but I recognize those signs from various videos, right? 100 kilometers per hour. Let's get that clear. Yeah, here is what the description of the video is. When it's legal to go 100 miles per hour on the highway. And now I see that this takes place in Portugal. Yikes. I wonder how many fines they got, if there was any speed cameras or anything like that. Also, I just hope that they were safe because going, well, quite frankly, twice the speed limit. I mean, 100 kilometers per hour is only about 62 miles per hour. And they're over here going 100 miles per hour. Yeah, remember, those are two different things. Americans, they use kilometers per hour elsewhere. America doesn't use the circle with the red around it. That's kilometers per hour. Yeah, bingo. Do you just not think?
Nothing beats a jet
POV, it's your first time driving in Europe and you get caught in torrential rain? Holy smokes, it's flooding the street. This is in Mallorca, apparently, according to the description.
Right now,
that's in Spain, correct? Oh my goodness. Wow. When it rains, it pours. That is legit flooded. That would be kind of freaky, right? Let's be real here, right? If you're in a different continent, if you're from the U.S., you're way over in Europe, right? You're in Spain. I mean, Mallorca is actually, that's an island, correct? Holy smokes. You're already a little nervous. You're out of your element. And then you're in torrential rain. That does kind of suck. I feel like she's just winging it, trying to stay safe. It looks like they're in a Mercedes as well. Hopefully it's an SUV, maybe, so it's a little above the rain. I can't really tell.
Nothing beats a Jet2 holiday. And right now, you can... Nothing beats a Jet2
Oh my
holiday.
God, dude.
And right now, you can...
Why is that so accurate? How many times has this happened that is never caught on camera? Right? And this could be tourists from anywhere, but especially, come on. We all know Americans have done this. Look at this. Look at that. Damn, they have that. Look at that. Oh my goodness. That's a Citroen, right? A Citroen? A little hatchback. That thing is up there. That thing is flexing. I've been in less intimidating situations straight up off-roading in trucks before. This thing is going hardcore wheeling in Greece, apparently. Yeah, just girly things.
Nothing beats a Jet 2 holiday.
Jeez. I'm sorry, I got to see it one more time. Man, rental cars. I thought rental cars got beat up. You know, that's like the stigma, right? I thought rental cars got beat up here in the States, but boy, oh boy, when you're dealing with this kind of terrain and so many tourists from everywhere, now I think about it, thinking of places like Italy, right? Any of the Mediterranean, really, you know, the UK, of course, Greece, like this example, boy, that doesn't compare. Pretty sure these rental cars take hella abuse. I don't know if it's a thing in European countries, like when rental car companies or agencies, you know, get a new fleet of cars and I guess retire their old rental cars. Is there a process? Do they just scrap them, or I would doubt that probably, or do they resell them to the public? I would assume they do that. That's what they do here. And so some people save money buying rental cars, and you know, it's kind of a flip of the coin. It could be a good thing, a good purchase, or it could be a nightmare. It could be just beat up and riddled with problems. Gotta love this. No damage, no problem. Don't know. It wasn't ours. Yeah, that's a good commercial for that car. Yeah, I kind of agree. The Citroen, whatever model that is, I have no idea. But that thing could take the urban abuse. POV, you're using Google Maps in Europe, and this happens after 2 hours of driving. Yo. So they are kind of, looks like way out there. They're not inner city anywhere. They're out in the countryside, which is honestly pretty beautiful. Beautiful sunny day, but as you can see, the road ends a little bit. Now, what's the sign say? Like, it looks like, honestly, let's think here. It looks like that's drivable. Like, you can drive over that. It honestly just looks like part of the road is missing and there's gravel over it. So, honestly, it doesn't look like a big deal, although it might not be as easy as that. It might mean this might be more meaningful than that, and maybe you can't go here. I'm not sure, because there are a couple signs. I don't know what that says. There is this sign that looks sort of like a warning sign. If anyone wants to like shed light on this, I'm thinking this sign might have to do with this.
A two-way road. Oh my God.
Jeez.
This is horrible. How do you guys drive through these things? The guy was laughing because this is ridiculous.
They're getting laughed at.
Can you imagine
by a local
going through here? I would have a meltdown. It's called whole lanes.
Look at this.
Oh my gosh.
Yo, that's crazy.
So
To me.
beautiful. It looks like a fairy tale, but I would never be able to drive through this.
Okay, like if we stop it, right? If we go back.
Never be able.
She just said it looks like a fairy tale. I agree. Like, this is so scenic, man. These UK roads are so cool, right? They're narrow, they're curvy. I mean, and you're either surrounded by trees like this, and it's almost like arching over the road. It looks very picturesque. It's awesome. Or I've seen them where it's like open. There's no really trees by you, but it's just beautiful rolling hill, you know, countryside as far as I can see. So like, they're very scenic, and it looks fun to me. Especially, you know, as a lifelong car guy, right? A gearhead, like you have a nice, you know, manual transmission, zippy car. I think this would be fun. Now, what I will say is when you see other cars coming, you know, my American brain, this road, how narrow it is, makes it look like it's a one-way road. No, of course it's not, but it's just so much narrower than I'd be used to over here. The craziest part is we've seen these before. These are usually, people say 50 or 60 mile per hour speed limits, which is crazy. Now, I realize not many people are going that speed the whole time.
Wow, look at this house.
That's cool, too.
Stunning.
These countryside properties are awesome, dude.
This is a two-way road.
Obviously, if you're going 60 and that Audi coming at him is going 60, that's going to be a scary situation. So, obviously, I think people use caution and all that, but yeah. I can't imagine how many little instances like this, or narrow misses, you could say, happen with tourists driving UK country roads. I think that's definitely its own thing. POV, the most entertaining street in Italy. What on earth? This is a two-way street? Oh my God, how is this a thing? And there's people walking down here. Yo. geez, that is the sharpest turn I've ever seen in my life. Like, my mind goes to, I think of like Formula One or something, or rally, right? You don't think of this as just like a normal, I think it's because of this, that painted like kind of curb, right? Or a rumble strip, whatever you want to call those, like you would see on a racetrack. This is kind of cool, actually. Yo, this is just like something you never see in the States, man. This is so fun. And look at this cliff and the buildings. This person has an awesome POV, like with the camera. It's kind of a really cool view, actually. Yo, this looks crazy, man. I would be the nerd that if I had like a hotel or something and I was, at a balcony where this was my view, I would literally be out there with the sparkling water or coffee or something, and I would just be chilling out here for like 2 hours watching traffic. That would be my idea of fun. This looks thoroughly entertaining. I have to agree. Now, I wouldn't want to drive on this necessarily. This is so sharp that, first of all, it's good that it goes from a narrow road to it widens out like triple wide on the hairpin right here. So that's a good thing. But it's such a sharp turn, though, that you notice like these people in no matter what vehicle they're in, they just can't even make the turn. They have to make it a 3-point or 4-point turn. You can't even fluidly make it in one shot. Not to mention you have people going both ways. That is freaking diabolical, man. That may work in Italy. I don't know how y'all do it. Like, honestly, round of applause. This, and I mean this, would never work in this country. Oh my God. Gotta love the tree blocking the view for extra difficulty. Dude, for real. I didn't even think of that. The tree is there, so you're totally blind until you're point blank in the middle of the hairpin. Oh my God, man. Imagine having your driving test in London. Yo. Oh my God. The big cities in Europe hit different, man. I've seen clips in Paris and like Rome, and they were crazy traffic. Of course, London would be crazy traffic too. Huge city. Look at this. What the hell is happening? Is that a freaking yellow? Like, look at the traffic. Is that like a Lamborghini SUV or something? just weaving over. Like, we got everything. Hatchbacks. We got double-decker buses. We got London cabs. We got everything here, man. Jeez. Look at this. We have two buses like merging. Where's this guy going? He's going over there. Hey, watch out for him. Dude, this is crazy. After seeing some of these, I feel like I can never complain about American traffic again. Because, see, in American traffic, mostly it's going to happen in a downtown environment, downtown city, or on the highway, right? And the thing is, it's just going to be straight lines, right? You're going to be 5 lanes wide, straight line, everyone's stuck. It's annoying, but it's kind of straightforward, right? And I'd still say easy difficulty. It's just annoying for the fact that you just have to wait around, sitting still a lot. This is a whole new meaning of traffic. This is super hard difficulty. And again, I can humbly admit Americans could never. There'd be bumpers and glass and headlights everywhere. I mean, that was London. Look at Napoli here. Of course, a lot of these have music. That's why I have them muted. I do apologize for that. But, yo, this is somehow even crazier. I mean, geez, man. Look at all the stuff we got going on here. All the lanes. We got guys on scooters. We got Fiats. We got everything in between, buses. Yo, I swear, man, bus drivers better make some bang on money, man. Seriously, how do you drive a bus in European cities? Seriously. Or a taxi, honestly. The stress. Maybe they're not stressed out, right? Maybe they have it figured out. But to me, it just looks crazy. What is this bizarre looking little car? The back window takes up more surface area than the metal around it. That is fascinating. Again, add it to the list of like 1,000 little dorky European cars that I I kind of want. We have two people on the scooter. A guy's, walking across the street somehow. I mean, pedestrians walk across us. That's what blows my mind. I mean, look at this. Y'all are next level. I am never driving in these cities. People sharing their stories, of course. The definition of a pedestrian crossing is that a green light means you're going to get hit at a slower speed. What's that all? Okay. It really is. I saw 2 accidents in 2 days, and they didn't even stop. They just yelled at each other and drove away. It's crazy. Why do I feel like that would be accurate? Yeah, anyone ever survived driving Napoli, you'll have to let me know. Maybe you drive this every day. If you do, you have my respect. You are a better driver than I. Of course, we have an American driving in Spain. Can't tell if you're driving on a road or driving through a restaurant. How many clips have we seen of this? These are my absolute favorite because they're insane. They're frightening a little bit, right? But they're just hilarious. Imagine what these people think. Look at all the people walking, man. Look at all the people sitting down having dinner, and there's a fucking car rolling through. Like, what is happening? Although there's another car pulling on. Is this a road? Because we've seen where Americans pulled into a strictly pedestrian area, pulled into like a market, pulled into a pedestrian, park, and yet they're driving through it and they get some weird looks. Now, this is clearly riddled with pedestrians and restaurants, cafes. They're driving on it. It's actually beautiful. The floor, if you look, like how shiny it is, it's really cool, right? The architecture, the floor, it's awesome. Again, not something you'd ever see in the U.S. Totally a cool vibe, but I don't know if it is a road, then that's bizarre. Like, maybe they're okay. Maybe they're on a road, so they're not as bad as they think. But still, if it's a road, like, holy smokes, look at all the people then. I'm so confused. My American brain just can't handle this. This is the one thing, like, when I drive in European countries, it's going to be so fun, but I just want to so hard avoid moments like this. I don't want to be one of these people driving through pedestrian areas, man. It'd be so embarrassing. And everyone in the comments who's American is, pretty much cry emojis saying, this gives me so much anxiety. I can never do it. I would be so stressed. OMG. I would be so embarrassed. I'd have to leave. Of course, not even the Ferraris are safe, right? I mean, they're pretty big, they're pretty wide. And, ironically, an Italian Ferrari doesn't do well on Italian streets.
50.
Driving in Poland is driving me crazy.
70.
Okay, 50 and then 70, she said. So, okay, the speed limit's changed. That's
70.
pretty normal. It does that here as well in the U.S. Okay, she's going faster.
No longer 70 and 50 again.
Is that right? Wait, what did that sign mean?
Roundabout.
It was 70 with like a line through it. What? Okay, now there's a regular 70 sign
70
again.
And
No, don't tell me it's gonna change. There's another 70.
And 50 again.
No, I don't think so. Is she interpreting this correctly? That looked like the road was gonna open up, like it was straight. What the hell? The only comment I see that mentions anything about how this works is this one. It says 70 on straights and 50 on intersections and pedestrian crossings. It makes perfect sense, to be honest. Yes, that definitely makes sense, the way they're saying it, if that's correct. I just wonder what the 70 with, you know what I mean? Like, what's that mean? That makes it sound like it's not 70 anymore. Does that mean there's no speed limit? Right? I don't know. These are things I'd have to study for sure before driving there. And I feel like a lot of people don't even look into these, and then they end up saying, hey, driving to Poland is crazy. Well, I don't think their roads are crazy. I think this is user error, right? I think you need to study a little bit about driving and some traffic laws and signs if you're going to a different country, right? You got to try and brush up on that stuff.
If you plan to drive in Europe this summer, you're going to want to know this. I lived in Europe for 6 years and traveled most of the continent, so let me help. Number one, if you're driving through the Schengen area, which encompasses a lot of Europe, you can drive freely through the borders without stopping. If you do get stopped for a random check or a customs check, it's not a big deal, but you may need to stop and show them your passport, so just make sure you have it accessible. Number two, if you're driving through some countries like Switzerland, Austria, Czech Republic, and more, you're going to need a vignette to drive on the roads. It's basically like paying for a toll road, so you can get it online, or sometimes you have to stop at a kiosk or a gas station, and then you pick it up and stick it on your windshield. If you don't have one, you can get fined, and yes, they will find you. Number three, in some places in Europe, you cannot pay for gas at the pump. It's like an honor system, so you pump your gas first, and then you go inside to pay. Number four, share the road is absolutely a real thing in Europe. Do not drive in designated bike lanes or bus-only lanes. And lastly, this one's for the Americans. In most European countries, you cannot turn right on red. There's a designated right turn traffic light, and you need to wait for it to go green before turning. Be sure.
Yo, that is the one thing, right? I mean, there's many things we get wrong here. That's one thing I love about the U.S., that you can turn right on red. That would be, yeah, I would miss that. I would miss that for sure. I'm actually so used to it. I think Americans would have to, really, concentrate on that fact, right? They would have to train themselves not to turn right on red, because to most of us, it's just muscle memory. You come to a stop, you look, it's clear, okay, go. Right? It's so nice being able to do that instead of waiting for a whole light cycle, right? Now, other than that, though, we get a good look at some stuff I never see. Yeah, there's the gas pumps. That's so cool. They're petrol pumps, gasoline. Yeah, these are cool. They're so different than ours. I feel like they'd be confusing at first, but I actually don't think they are. They're just so different. They have an individual pump for each one. I think that's what it is. They usually have just gas or diesel, and they'll have different octanes and different types of gasoline, but you just pick up the one pump, it's only one, right? And then you pick on the machine, and it sorts it out for you. Whereas this has a direct pump connected to each individual one. And I think that's why it initially looks a little confusing.
On your windshield.
But yeah, this thing I did not know. I've never even heard about the vignette thing. It's interesting. So this pretty much pays for your tolls and stuff. Kind of like what we have here in Illinois would be called an iPass. You put it in your windshield as well. I'm assuming that's kind of like what this is.
Nothing beats a Jet2 holiday. And right now, you can save £50 per person.
Oh, hell no.
That's £200 off for a family. We've got millions of free child place holidays available. With 22
they are roasting the
kilograms of
clutch.
No.
Oh my God, I'm going to assume it's a her because it's a girl's name and profile pickup here.
Nothing beats it.
She is roasting the clutch, man. So she's in a manual, probably not used to it or not very good at driving a manual, and you're in these tight ass streets, curvy, uphill. This is the worst.
You can save £50 per person.
This is so bad.
That's £200 off for a family of 4.
I mean, looking at this blows my mind. I would be a little better off because, I can drive a manual. I own one. But, I mean, driving a manual on a hill like this, somewhere you're not used to, this looks hella scary, dude. Look at there's no room at all.
We've got millions of free child place holidays available.
I feel like she's riding the clutch, revving it up. You can hear the engine rev up, but she's still kind of on the clutch. Oh, man, that thing is going to be burning. RIP clutch, 1,000,000%. What are you doing? Yo, she's just trying to survive, man. POV, you forget you're supposed to be driving on the right side in Italy. What? Holy shit. What the hell are they thinking? Yo, you're not in the UK. What are you doing? Most of Europe still drives on the right like we do here in the States. What is she? Oh, my God. Oh, that could have been really freaking bad. I'm hoping the other car didn't swerve to avoid him and hit a sign or hit the wall. Yo, that is freaking scary, man. Yo, I told you to buckle up. Got some crazy clips in this episode. Dude, what were they thinking being on that side of the road, man? You literally just drove on the right side and then passed a solid white line. Yeah, Near miss plus 500 points. Yeah, she's going to get a bonus at the end of all the checkpoints, right? How can you forget? Almost all countries drive on the right. That's what I'm saying. Like, if you're coming from the U.S., you're going to Italy, it's going to be the exact same side. I mean, yes, there's going to be many driving differences and challenges, but at least you're going to be on the same side of the road. Same in Germany, same in the Czech Republic, same in Poland. Like, it doesn't matter where, like, you're going to be on the same thing. I almost wonder if they were on an extended vacation and maybe they went to the UK first or something. And imagine if they went from like London to somewhere in Italy and then this is their first time driving. Maybe they got used to, like, you know, the trauma of trying to drive on the other side in England. And that's like the only thing where you could like maybe say, you know, that this could happen, but nah. I don't even think, I think that's giving them way too much benefit of the doubt. Even so, you got to know where you're at, dude. Come on. That could have been really, really bad. I mean, it was really bad. It could have been a lot worse. Please, anyone traveling, be careful driving. Please be careful.
And we're American, so we typically drive on the right side.
Mm-hmm. Typically?
Sitting on the left.
Sitting on the left, driving on the right side. Ashley, you're currently on the right side, and we're about to drive on the left.
It's about to be crazy.
It's about to be crazy.
Before? No.
Popping in with a quick voiceover because in a second I'm going to say that we're going to Galway, but we're actually going to the Cliffs of Moher first.
So they're definitely in Ireland.
Galway's in the next video.
You know, there is a bus. We did pass by the bus that was like, we're like, oh, the bus says a 2-hour trip to Galway. Perfect. Let's drive instead and rent a car.
Okay, but here's the thing. The tickets
that sounds fun.
$80. So for $10 more, you can take yourself.
See,
I respect it.
This is the bus we would be on, but instead, we're quicker too. I'm on the driver's side in my country,
foggy.
But I'm a passenger. I feel like I'm not supposed to put stuff on the ground because it'll get stuck under the pedal, but there's no pedal here.
That's hilarious. I would say
I'm kind of into it though. It feels very strange, very bizarre.
I would feel the same way.
But it was kind of fun. I'm still surprised that they just handed that over.
No, they really did. They're like, California license? Perfect.
Perfect.
So we did finally make it to the Cliffs of Moher. And oh my goodness.
That is beautiful.
This, but pictures and video will never do this place justice.
I imagine.
So sorry, you just have to go. But
I definitely gotta go see that someday. Wow.
And we do have a shortcut at the end of this video. So
wow,
stay
man.
tuned for that. I don't take credit. I found off TikTok, but stay tuned for that.
Okay, we made it.
We made it. Don't ever let them tell you that you can achieve your dreams, kid.
They looked at us like we were crazy. How do you rate driving on the left side, though?
It was very crazy. It was very wild, but very beautiful. I mean,
I imagine driving, of course it'd be an adjustment and intimidating, but driving through Ireland, man, what a cool concept. Like the fact that they could have just taken the bus or whatever, but they chose to drive themselves. Man, I mean, that's a great memory, right? I mean, that's got to be such a beautiful drive.
Definitely driven through a couple of streets that were made for half a car.
You were fine on the highway.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. The highway should be pretty easy.
It's just a little side country road.
It's just a little country roads, yeah.
So pretty. For all of you Irish folk who are speeding around,
we're scared of you. How did you do that? How did you do that?
Who passed me? I'm afraid of you
whipping around these corners, one lane.
That's wild.
This is the shortcut I was talking about. Again, I found it off of TikTok. I'll list some of the creators I got it from in the comments. Drive past the visitor center, and you're going to want to turn right when you see this sign that says Coastal Walk. It's at a stop sign. You're going to keep driving, and then you're going to see another sign that says Garen's Path. Then you're going to pay the sweetest old man €5 per person. You just get to drive to the top. You're just at the top.
Whoa,
so you can
that's
do that, or you can
freaking
hike to the
sick.
visitor center. It's up to you. I believe it costs more. I'm not really sure, but this is what we did.
Wow. We're going to end it with that one. That sounds freaking awesome, man. That sounds awesome. What a memory, like intimidating drive, but what a memory you make, right? And that's what kind of this is all about at the end of the day. That was fun. That was a wild episode. Whew, wipe the sweat off. We had some very close calls there. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed that. I had an absolute blast. These are some of the best, man. These are some of my favorite episodes. And this one was action freaking packed. Can't wait to see the comments on this one also. I appreciate you watching. Drive safe out there. Watch out for tourists. I kid. That's gonna be it. My name is Ian. You're watching IWrocker. Until next time, y'all. Catch you later.